and I really appreciate it. You know, I give Bob trouble every year about this party, and you know, I wasn't sure I was going to get here this year, and it's not entirely my fault. You know, I think I told Tom this the other day at our office. You see, I've been Bob Dvorsky's constituent for a long time, right? And he's had a birthday party every year for a long time. Now I'm even his congressman, all right? But I still don't get an invitation to his birthday party in Mount Vernon. Now, I don't know what the heck that's all about, you know. Even an email would be good, you know, right? But anyway, I had to give him a hell about that, you know, right? I don't know, he doesn't have staff, I guess, but anyway. That's right. No, that's right. Sue took off, that's where it all happened. But, anyway. But I am glad to be here, and I'm really glad that Bob is my state senator, and happy birthday, Bob. And I love coming here every year whenever I have the opportunity, and I really appreciate it very much. And I'm really glad to be here because Sue Dvorsky is here too. I know that everybody's already sort of sung her praises, but when we first got word that Sue might become the state party chair, that was like, this is really cool. Because we got somebody from around here who's really fantastic, and I know is going to do a fantastic job. And she is. I see party chairs come and go. I'll leave it at that. You're going to be there a while, and I'm really happy about that. Terry was introduced, but everyone was mulling about her or something. And so, could we just give Terry Loebsack a really great round of applause? I know Roxanne's going to get up here and speak pretty soon, so I literally am not going to speak very long. I know that's famous last words, very politician, but it is a more serious year this year. That's the thing that I really want to impress upon you. I told the story at the Central Committee meeting recently when I attended that. Brian reminded me right after the election that that I won because of Johnson County. And he was, if I remember correctly, well, anyway. But look, the fact of the matter is, I couldn't have won in 2006 had it not been for Johnson County. And, I mean, this is an absolutely critical place, folks. You all know that. Everybody, all the Democrats come in here to tell you that, but you don't need us to tell you that. I've of course, I did a lot of things before for Congress involved in the political scene in Johnson County and Lane County, where I'm from. And I know how critical this is. People don't want to be taken for granted. I know you don't want to hear about the margins and all of that, but if we don't do well here, we don't win. That's the bottom line. We've got to do really well here. I was disappointed, as Brian knows, last time I wanted a 25,000 vote margin, and we only got 24.5, I think.
Sorry, Dave.
I know, and I let Brian know, about that. But anyway, but it is absolutely critical. I did extremely well here. I knew early in the evening that I was going to win in 2006 because I knew all those absentee ballots that were out, and Tom remembers that, and John, I knew that I could count on those absentee ballots because folks who had run before me, Dave Franker and Julie Thomas, I knew what percentage of those votes those folks took. So I knew that I was going to get at least that percentage of those absentee ballots. So I knew before it was officially called that I was going to win because I knew that I was going to win those absentee ballots in Johnson County. That's how important Johnson County is to me. I'm going to need your help again. Yeah. Roxanne's going to need your help. Chet's going to need your help. We're all going to need your help. I know that we say this every time, but it's because it's true. And because Johnson County is so great at turning out Democrats. It scares the hell out of Republicans. I mean, you all know that. I mean, they grudgingly respect Johnson County because they know this is where it is and this is where it's going to happen. I'll just say a couple things about issues, and then I'll yield the floor to our next U.S. Senator from Iowa. I had the Gazette editorial board meeting today and talked about a lot of issues, and there are three things that I'm really focusing on besides jobs. Okay, jobs in the economy. I'm focusing on the flood issues still, and recovery and rebuilding, and I'm focusing obviously on our veterans and making sure our National Guard troops, whether we agree with the mission or not, are properly equipped and trained, and that when they come back, that we take care of them and we treat them with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. On the job front, I'll just say this. Look, we've got to keep moving forward. We can't go back. There's simply no way. We cannot go back to the Republican policies that got us into this ditch in the first place. We all know that. We've got to move forward. I believe we've got to do what we can to come together after this election. I know that sounds pie in the sky and Pollyannish, but I've actually got a bill that passed the House of Representatives unanimously. It was fairly non-controversial, my sector's bill. And I have bipartisan support for that bill. It's because it's pragmatic. It's because it's common sense. It's because it actually identifies, local folks can identify an industry that they see as failing, that needs to be resuscitated, or an industry that can be improved upon, or they can identify a new industry that can be created in the local area. And what my bill does is it's pretty simple. It simply provides a limited amount of funding at the federal level for the stakeholders in any given industry or cluster of industries in an area. Wind energy around here, for example, right? Okay. Or biofuels, okay? All right? It allows money to come from the federal government, a limited amount, and it's really leveraging more than anything else, to bring those stakeholders together. And it's the local folks who bring the stakeholders together in the industry, labor folks, workforce development folks, and the educational institutions that are going to be important, not to diss the University of Iowa or Cornell College or whatever, but it's really going to be the community colleges where this is going to happen. That's the community colleges where those are the educational institutions that are going to play a role. And it's about making sure that local communities can provide the workforce necessary for the needs of that industry. That's what it's about. That's my bill. It got through the House, as I said, unanimously. In fact, the Republicans didn't even call for a roll call vote. It was that non-controversial because I had bipartisan support. It just made a lot of sense. And when the Republicans spoke on the floor on my bill after I spoke on it, I was managing the bill, he said nothing but good things about my bill. That's the kind of thing I want to do moving forward. Again, I realize the country is so divided right now along partisan lines. But the American people are kind of tired of that. That's what I'm hearing. They want us to move forward. They actually want us to work together as best we can. And that's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I'm going to keep trying to do when it comes to jobs and the economy. That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing, I mentioned floods. If you saw the front page of the Cedar Rapids Gazette today above the fold, there's an article about what we got accomplished with respect to this duplication of benefits issue for businesses and for folks who had to take out private loans and SBA loans, because this has been held up for a long time. We had $85 million that I helped secure for Iowa, and very little of that has actually gone out the door because of these bureaucratic technical glitches. And I got to tell you, the staff don't like me to talk about them, but he's not here, so I can talk about them. Eric Whitty, our chief of staff, has done a fantastic job working behind the scenes with HUD, with Mayor Corbett, with the state of Iowa, with all the folks involved in this, with the local business folks as well. Eric's done a great job, and he was there yesterday. He was there choreographing this thing. We set it up ahead of time. Again, not taking anything away from our senators, all right? Or at least one of them anyway. But at any rate, this is something that our office did. And this is something I'm going to keep working on as we move forward. And one other thing on the floods. When this past summer, the leadership in the House of Representatives tried to take away money from that $312 million that HUD set aside because we had Sean Donovan, the secretary, come to Cedar Rapids. I brought him to Cedar Rapids. For future flood mitigation, I fought tooth and nail not to take that money away. And in the process, I got a written commitment from Speaker Pelosi to protect both sides of the river in Cedar Rapids. Okay. Well, when all was said and done, we had that $312 million still in the HUD budget. I got that commitment in writing. And Iowa, out of the 13 states that got money out of that $312 million, we got $84 million in Iowa for future flood mitigation efforts. I'm very proud of having worked so hard on that. I mentioned our National Guard, our veterans. This is something that I know a lot of folks when I got elected probably thought, Dave Loebsack, working on veterans issues, Dave Loebsack working on the Armed Services Committee. I decided to get on that committee because I knew how important the National Guard are here to folks in Iowa. Really the dual missions that the National Guard performs. Domestically, the flood of 2008, the flood since then, tornado in Parkersburg, other natural disasters. The National Guard is absolutely critical here in the state of Iowa, as it is across the country. And now again, whether you agree with the mission or not, 2,800 are on their way to Afghanistan. I think my job is to do everything I can to make sure that they are fully equipped, make sure that they're trained for both their domestic and their foreign missions, whatever those may be. And that's something, as a member of the Readiness Subcommittee, I've really worked hard to make sure those National Guard troops have what they need to do what they need to do. And then, as I said, when they come home, to make sure that not only we have a great VA medical center here, which I think we do. I was just at the tea tournament for disabled veterans. I was at the closing ceremonies last night in Riverside at the casino. It was really wonderful to see 181 disabled veterans, many of them blind. All right, they were out playing golf. They were, throwing horseshoes. They were doing all kinds of things. And I was at the closing ceremony. I actually visited. I went out with some of them a few years ago at a golf course in North Liberty, and I literally helped them tee up the ball and walked around the golf course with them and all the rest. It was a great experience. But we got a community-based outpatient clinic soon after I got into office on the books. We got the money for it in Cedar Rapids, and now it's open. We have another one in Ottumwa that we're going to open up very, very soon, this fall sometime. That's happened since I've been in office. We have to do everything we can to make sure that vets don't have to travel long distances to get the services that they deserve, that they need, that I think they paid the price for and that they deserve. I think we have to do everything we can so they don't have to drive all the way to Iowa City or to Des Moines, Knoxville, whatever the case may be. That's something I've worked really, really hard on. Also, lots of things I've done, making sure we get proper treatment for those with traumatic brain injury, with post-traumatic stress disorder, and on and on and on. It's something that I've really worked hard on. I think I have to do that as a member of Congress from Iowa. Those are the three things that I'm going to be talking about, and lots of others during the campaign. Looking forward to your support, your help. I went longer than I said I was going to, but what else was new, right? And Dave Flash is going to be chastising me, after it's hell having said, especially when they've been around longer than you have, right? But at any rate, it's really great to be here, and I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for having me, and happy birthday, Bob, and thank you, Sue, for what you're doing. I'm losing my voice. It's time to get off the stage. Thanks a lot.